All right, welcome back to the HoneyOptics test bench. Have something very special today. This is one of our brand new HoneyOptics PTZ camera controllers. If you are ready to move beyond the remote and into the world of a controller, this is a great option. So I'm going to show you how to connect your controller to your camera in two different ways. First, we have the controller here. It's set up by itself. All I've done is plug it in. I'm using a power over Ethernet solution, so there is an optional power connector on the back if you want to use a traditional 120 volt socket. I'm just getting my network and my power all in one because it just makes it easy. All right, so the first thing you want to do if it's brand new is going to go into the setup through this setup button right here and scroll down to network attributes. So this is going to need to be on your network in order to talk to the other things on your network. You can do that a couple of different ways. You can give it a static IP address if you want to, or you can do what I've done and just set it up into DHCP mode where it will just grab an IP address automatically from the network. That's probably the simplest thing to do. You won't have to keep track of it and all that sort of stuff. And it's not as important that you know the location of this, the controller. It's more important for your cameras to have static IP addresses. So I just went ahead and put it in DHCP mode. So we're going to go up instead to add network device, which is your first option. So I can come in there and I can click, and I can come down here and tell it which camera I want it to be. I want this to be camera 2. I already have camera 1 set up. So I can go there, hit enter. Then I say, which protocol do you want to use? I am a big fan of OnVIF as a protocol. It just works. It works well. A little easy to set up. So I'm going to do that. Oh, hit enter. I'm going to type in my IP address. I've got a handy number pad right here to do that with. And if you don't have 3 digits, you can go ahead and hit enter, or mouse over, and then I'll give you the next one. 31. All right, I'm going to come down here. I'm going to hit enter. Port. OnVIF almost always uses port 80. I'm going to come down here, and we are going to use old school texting techniques to type in our password. If any of you texted from back in the day, you know what this is like. All right, so I got all that done. I'm going to hit enter again. It says successfully. There we go. All right, so now that should be set up on camera 2. So if I go home, all right, so now I programmed the one I just put in. It was camera 2. So I'm going to press camera 2. It's going to say connecting. It's going to tell me where I am. So nice thing on the screen here is I've got the native IP, that's the IP address of this guy, which camera I'm talking to, camera 2, and how I'm connecting to it, and what the connection information for that camera is. And now, if I move my joystick, my camera moves. Pretty sweet. All right, so that's the first way to do it. If you want to get a little fancier and don't want to type in all the information through the little screen and the 10 keypad, this does have a web interface that will allow you to set up cameras there as well, and that way you can just type everything in. So let's take a look at that. All right, so even though this is set to DHCP, which means it gets a new IP address every once in a while, the screen conveniently tells me what its IP address is. So I was able to put that into my web browser, load it right up. Default password is admin, or default username is admin with no password. And now we can come and see how we set up cameras through this interface, which I like better. Okay, here we go. So you can actually see the two that I've already set up right here. So here's camera 1, that's my one HoneyOptics, and here's my camera 2, which is in this IP address, and you can see all of its settings. If I wanted to come down here and say add a third camera, I could do that. It knows it's camera 3. I can tell which format I want it to use. If you, for some reason, have a camera that, say, only has a Visca, you can have a mixed environment of, some cameras using one protocol and some cameras using another. That's not always available on all keyboards, but this one will let you do it. And then, of course, you supply the IP information, the port information for the network. Because we don't have any analog cameras connected to this system. That would be if you were using using the older serial connections, you don't even ever need to worry about this space. It's not important. It's not for us. So you can see you can go ahead and set up 7 different cameras if you want. And if you noticed, the controller conveniently has hot buttons for each of those cameras at the top. Finally, back in here, you will find a settings page. If I wanted to switch over to a static IP address, I could get that done here. If the HoneyOptics releases a firmware update you want to upload, you can do that here. And then you can come down here and check which version you have in case you want to look for another one. All right, well, that was just a quick little rundown of how you can connect your PTZ camera to the new HoneyOptics PTZ controller. So I hope you found that interesting and useful, and I hope you have a great day.